Most people believe that polarization is mainly about politics, about parties, about leaders, about ideologies. But what is happening beneath the surface is far more biological and far more personal than that. When the human brain perceives threat, whether that threat is real or imagined, external or symbolic, it begins to shift its priorities, slowly moving away from curiosity and complexity and toward protection and certainty. In this state, the nervous system becomes more reactive, and emotional signals start to dominate rational evaluation, not because people suddenly become irrational, but because survival mechanisms take control of perception. Instead of asking whether something is true, the brain begins asking whether something feels safe, whether it belongs to our group, whether it reinforces our sense of identity. Modern digital environments intensify this process in subtle but powerful ways, rewarding outrage, fear, and certainty with attention, visibility, and social validation, while quietly punishing nuance, doubt, and slow thinking. Over time, this trains millions of nervous systems to remain in a low-grade state of alert, constantly scanning for enemies, contradictions, and symbolic threats, even in ordinary conversations. As this pattern deepens, people begin to experience disagreement not as a normal part of social life, but as a personal attack, a moral failure, or a signal of danger. Complex individuals are reduced to labels, stories become simplified into heroes and villains, and reality is compressed into narratives that are emotionally satisfying but intellectually fragile. Certainty in this context becomes a form of emotional comfort, a way for the brain to quiet anxiety by replacing ambiguity with rigid explanations and clear enemies. But the price of this comfort is high because a mind that cannot tolerate uncertainty slowly loses its capacity for learning, empathy, and genuine understanding. A polarized nervous system does not feel free from the inside, even when it believes it is defending important values, because it is constantly reacting, constantly preparing for conflict, constantly interpreting the world through fear. Over time, this state reshapes identity itself, turning opinions into emotional anchors and beliefs into psychological shelters that feel too dangerous to question. Doubt begins to feel like weakness, listening begins to feel like betrayal, and empathy begins to feel like surrender. At that point, societies do not fracture because people disagree, since disagreement has always existed, but because people stop recognizing each other as complex human beings. They stop seeing individuals and begin seeing symbols, threats, and abstractions that are easier to fight than to understand. This is why polarization cannot be solved only with more information, more arguments, or more facts, because the problem is not primarily cognitive, it is neurological and emotional. It lives in the way nervous systems are trained to respond to uncertainty, difference, and social pressure. Until societies learn how to calm these systems, how to rebuild tolerance for ambiguity, and how to reward reflection over reaction, cycles of division will continue repeating under new names and new ideologies. Polarization is not simply a political crisis. It is a psychological one. And understanding that may be the first step toward learning how to live together again. Welcome to Unveil,